Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about something that's really important that directly affects you, and that would be the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve, if you do not know, directly affects you. So those people that are always wondering, well, why does any of this stuff matter to me? Federal Reserve is probably something you should know about because it's controlling your whole life. About 13 families, if I'm not mistaken, are running, or I'm sorry, excuse me, own the Federal Reserve. I don't know if it changed. I heard that fact a few years ago. Probably it's less now. It's not like it's getting better. And they completely control your life. I don't understand if that's confusing to you. You probably have problems in other places of your life. You're probably a disturbed being in other places of your existence. On this website, on my phone, I have freedomworks.org right here, freedomworks.org, top 10 reasons to end the Federal Reserve. Now, this is my YouTube video, so I'm going to go ahead and just say whatever I'd like. And even though they have their own commentary on these 10 things, but I might go off their shit for a little bit. You know, it's whatever I like to do. The Federal Reserve has far too much power to control our economy. So, you know, if that's confusing to you, like I said, you probably are a disturbed person in other places. It's pretty simple. Money is running the show, and they own money. So, money decides, you know, for instance, I couldn't do a lot of this stuff without money. They decide whether or not I can do this. So how much money I'm getting and receiving. This is pretty simple. It doesn't really need to be explained that much. So that's kind of why it's going to go right to reason 2. The Federal Reserve has significantly devalued our currency. I know that you know, the money when transferred. Okay, so if they make $1 million, it's you know, dispersed into the public, and they have you know, $1 million. Okay, they can give that out. Okay, add interest to it. We all know this. Okay, but what does that do? So now all of a sudden there's money there that does not necessarily even exist, causing inflation, causing people them to have to combat with more money. More money's devalued. It's almost set up. I mean, it's almost just too easy. Then you can totally control the whole public, because then the money's not even really there. And if you have money that's not even really there, you know, and I don't even want to hear some people coming, well, that's not the exact logistics. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, that's the basis outline of it. There's money that was made. I mean, honestly, the whole idea of money in and of itself is just so stupid. I don't even understand why we even take it that seriously. I mean, the whole concept that we're totally putting our faith and power into people, you know, it's just shocking to me that people even take that time. Reason number 3: the Federal Reserve hurts the poor and middle class the most. You know, and I'd actually take it a step further. You know, because then the, you know, the higher classes or whatever have to, you know, just keep up with their lifestyle, just keep monopolizing and even making more money. The less the money's valued, the more they have to combat it with, and then they have to keep monopolizing on things, keep just growing and growing and growing and growing. You know, it's ridiculous. The Federal Reserve is run by unelected and unaccountable bureaucrats. It's owned by 13 families that have nothing, or have no checks and balances within the government. They're not elected. They honestly are not even a government institution. And not only that, but I mean, honestly, that's how our government works too. If you would like to know some shit about what's really going on, and then that's their connection. But hey, you know, some of you people out there are just those rigid skeptics that just, oh, good old Uncle Sam's always doing the good thing for me. Fucking idiot. All right. The Federal Reserve has made our economy less stable. You know, the cycles of money, the wars, you know, immediately during a war, Federal Reserve is going into debt, it has to be combated, totally planned. I mean, the whole thing in and of itself, like I said, doesn't even, it's something that was made up and then overcomplicated. And now you're just feeding into it, and you're trying to combat it. You know, essentially, this is how I'd put it. It's like playing Monopoly with somebody who has all the fucking money, and you've got $1, and you're trying to see if you get $2. You know, you're doing your best to see if you get $2. It's essentially what it is. It's the best way I could break it down. What else? It's taking forever to scroll down here. Federal Reserve is far too secretive. I mean, you know, you want proof of that? How much do you know about the people that fucking, you know, own the Federal Reserve? You know, honestly, I could say I know some things about the Federal Reserve, but I cannot say that I know a lot about those people. You know, and first of all, you know, look into the origins of where it came from. That whole Jekyll Island thing, the whole bill went down on Christmas. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, things whole secretive, and you know, you get those stupid a-holes that just want, oh yeah, actually it's not even that secretive. You can totally learn a lot about it. Yeah, you can. You can learn about how it's fucking you, and then after that, you know, it's pretty much secretive, buddy. Don't believe me? You know, do some research on the subject. Federal Reserve benefits special interests. This is one I actually don't know that much about personally. You know, it says the Federal Reserve erodes most American standards of living while enriching well-connected elites. The central bank serves big spending politicians, big bankers, and their friends. Special interests receive access to money and credit before the harmful inflationary effects impact the entire economy. This is why high-power lobbyists protect and defend the existence of the Federal Reserve. I use theirs because it's kind of something I felt I don't even really know that much about. Federal Reserve is unconstitutional. Uh-oh, this is what we're getting for all you good old libertarian constitutionalists, right? In fact, from what I know, founding fathers said several quotes about how they did not want a central bank and how it'd be actually the where the country would fall, which it has. It actually, the Constitution actually does not state to, you know, does not state to have any sort of central bank. So yeah. Federal Reserve routinely bails out big banks. When they do that, I'm trying to. Sorry. If you're wondering why I'm hesitating so much, I'm trying to look at this website. I actually never saw this part of the website. It says the Federal Reserve was ordered through a Freedom of Information Act request to release 28,000 pages of documents in March 2011. The documents exposed that one of the largest recipients of the Federal Reserve's money was foreign banks during the 2008 economy meltdown. So pretty much what they do is they just defend their own system. You know, it's like a monopoly that's just kind of supporting itself so the thing can continue. You know what I'm saying? They just want to keep it alive. You know, they wouldn't want the people coming on top. It's essentially if I were to go down to the basis of it, that's essentially kind of what it is. I mean, we could do all the logistics and complications, but why? Federal Reserve encourages deficit spending. You know, constant taxation, printing, borrowing money has become the Federal Reserve government's preferred method. It's also a destructive method since the federal government is able to simply print more money. So pretty much what it does is it can say that it wants more money, and then essentially it gets that. It wants that more money. So when it can do that, it can almost control the whole system. And essentially that affects you directly, because if it's controlling the whole system that you're in, it's directly affecting you. They can just keep producing more money. That's essentially how it works. I'll probably make another video on this because there's some other things I wanted to touch on, but I wanted to kind of break it up. So yeah.